Thank you very much, everyone, for taking time today to learn a little bit more about the Wealth Management Edition that Maximizer is bringing to market. I want to thank Neil as well for including the picture that I shared with him today. This is a picture of me at the garage waiting for the Stanley Cup Finals to begin. Someone's just told me Vancouver's not in it, but I still have belief that they'll be there one year, so I'm waiting. So that's my little humor for the day, and I guess I'm going to say good luck to Chicago because I just can't be rooting for the Boston Bruins. So on that note, today's agenda, quick little introduction that we've somewhat gone through. I'm going to go through the CRM promise. I'm going to take you through 5 steps to use CRM to build your book value in your wealth management business. I'm going to introduce the Maximizer CRM product for wealth management, and we're going to have some time at the end for questions. So what's been the promise of CRM, and what has CRM always been promising to its clients and users of the system is we strongly believe that you can increase revenue using CRM. And the ways that we believe you're going to increase revenue is with the items that are below, such as CRM allows you to scale your growth. And what that means is by as your business grows, you can keep track of what's going on inside your business, no matter what size it becomes, because you've got a system that can manage all the transactions and activities from within. CRM is going to allow you to improve service, and it's going to allow you to improve service because it's going to allow you to create repeatable processes. It's going to allow you to always be sure that you're in contact with your clients when you say you're going to be, and it's going to allow you to always be one step ahead of them, knowing what they need to do before they are even aware of it, and the CRM is telling you, and you're making them aware, and that thereby increasing the service and your service level to them. It's going to increase your practice value. I always ask the question of a wealth manager, if you had the opportunity to buy another business, wealth management business, or two, let's say, and one has been using a CRM for 10 years and recording every conversation, every note, every email that's been sent and received, and one that's been just using Outlook or a pen and paper, which one would you perceive to have more value? And I think the answer to that is obvious. Effective delegation. CRM is intended to allow you to delegate inside your organization to make sure that different individuals are aware of what they need to be doing, when they need to be doing, and ensuring that you have the ability to follow up that it's been done and been done correctly. And when you're doing all of these things, you're naturally going to be increasing the efficiency of your business in general. So the promise of CRM is to build and manage relationships and to increase the value of your business by increasing the efficiency of your business. What's been the reality for financial advisors to date? 48% of advisors say they need help in at least 6 of the 7 key areas of CRM, and 25% of the financial advisors say they do not even use a CRM. Part of the challenges around using CRM has been caused by an increasingly complex industry that you work within. You're experiencing industry overload. Much like technology workers, workers in wealth management, one statistic I was given last week or the week before in Niagara Falls is, John, there's over 2,000 mutual funds in Canada alone. So how can you manage that volume of information just on the products and services that you're able to offer? There's increasing expectations for levels of service that you can provide to your clients. More and more clients are expecting you to be an expert at not only potentially asset management, but also mortgage renewals, insurance. Many clients are asking for that family practice concept whereby a single office can provide me with all my financial services needs, not just potentially my RRSP, RRSP needs. There's complex and shifting regulations for compliance in your industry. What was required a couple of years ago to be compliant is now different. Increasingly, it seems like almost every week or certainly month, there are changes in what's required of yourselves as far as your interaction level with the clients, how you're to interact, and to what degree you're to record those interactions. All of which is, again, increasingly creating an increasingly complex environment for you. And the expanding competition and options for the clientele. So you heard me talk about the family-run business. There's also the numbers of products and services that are available to clients on the market, and that's also becoming voluminous and difficult for you to manage. So where does this take you to? And it's intended to point out why you need a CRM so drastically within your business, and how that CRM is going to help you. So acknowledging the requirement of a CRM then takes you to the area of, well, what should you be asking of your CRM technology exactly? What should it deliver to you so that it is making you more efficient and increasing the value of your business? So to do that, I think you need to look at what are your business goals and what are the business goals for the solution that we're talking about. And for existing clients, that of course comes around to providing the highest level of service and expanding the depth of the service offerings that you're giving them. For new clients, you need to create efficiencies around the process of creating new client or new account openings. You need in general to create what are considered to be repeatable, highly efficient processes around every interaction that you have with your clients and your new clients, and your potential clients, identifying and managing the pipeline of who potentially could become a client for you, understanding the value that each potential client can bring to your business such that you're always, if your goal is to attract only high net worth clients, then you're able to do so because you're looking within the CRM at the differentiation you're making around your prospects such that you're only attempting to attract the clients that are going to bring the most value to your business. And of course, the CRM is supposed to help you effectively communicate with the clients while you're developing that profile. The business challenge in general, and we've talked a little bit about this already, is around time management. How do you manage all the internal information that's required when you're dealing with your clients on a daily basis? How do you manage all the external information that's also required to deal with your clients? How do you develop that financial snapshot? So integrated technology is built around a CRM such that the advisor can see all the information that's has ever been recorded on a client. So not only information on just assets and liabilities, but also the mortgage, also the insurance, also the family members and potentially their opportunities and what they could bring to your practice. And managing compliance is a big business challenge for your industry. Having a paper trail, if you will, or an electronic trail of every correspondence, so every email that's been sent back and forth, every phone call that's transpired, having a note in the system saying we had a call, this was what was said, takes you a lot farther down the road than an advisor who's not following some of these most basic uses of a CRM. So how do you build your book value with a CRM or with a product like Maximizer CRM? There's 5 steps. I'm going to take you through them really quickly. Creating a one-view world, focusing on the C in KYC, making your process a competitive advantage, how you make your smartphone smarter, and of course you've got to measure and monitor what's going on inside your business to allow you to really make money. So kind of what does that look like? Step 1 in creating a one-view world is, and I mentioned it earlier, creating that one view of client history. So all notes, all calls, all emails, and of course all information recorded on the KYC and any other forms that you're presenting to your clients, having all that information inside the CRM and being able to be visible and easily accessible from wherever you are. Sharing that information. Having everyone inside the office be able to see the most important and relevant information on every client, such that it doesn't matter who takes the call when the client calls in, you all have access to the same key information that you're collecting along about that client. Having the ability to delegate the tasks and activities. So every office has different functions that it performs, and every individual in those offices have different roles and functions. Being able to have a CRM that can give you a view into who's doing what, when, and when it's due and when it's been completed is integral to operating an efficient office. And of course, sharing the calendar of the team's schedule. How can you be working together if you can't see each other's calendar? How can you book appointments with each other if you don't know when each other are busy and when each other are free? So the goal of the one view world is it's a one view into the office, it's a one view into the client, it's giving you the visibility and collaboration capabilities that you need to efficiently manage your business. You need to focus on the C in KYC, and that's the client. So you must have an intuitive way to capture data to eliminate the administration as well as the errors that go with administration and potentially data entry. You need to be able to easily change and adapt. So the data that was, or the information that you're collecting on a client today might not be the information you will need to collect on them tomorrow. You need a system that's easily configurable and easily customizable and to give you the access to capture the information you need at any given time. And the foundation of the real client engagement is the KYC. The KYC is what's pointing to the ambitions and the desires and thresholds of and objectives for those clients, and being able to record that information such that you can segment it and search on it later is vital in being able to engage each client in the way that you want to engage them. And typically wealth advisors are engaging clients based on a segmentation and a value to the business. So understanding the value each client brings to your business immediately helps you set the appropriate behavior inside your office for that type of client. And making this, the last point is making the KYC data work for you, exactly what I'm saying. Segment the data, allowing you to prioritize how you manage your clients. Some wealth advisors we've talked to and we work with say, my type A clients, John, I call them every 2 months and I take them out for lunch twice a year. My type B clients, I call them twice a year and I take them out for lunch once a year. And my type C's and D's, I call every 6 months, and that's all. So being able to have the repeatable processes based on client segmentation built right into the CRM is integral to ensuring you're giving the same level of service that you want and everyone else is inside the organization as well. Making the process a competitive advantage. This is the real meat and potatoes, I think, of a wealth management edition or a software for a wealth management edition, because it's really all about those 10, 12, 15 different steps or activities that are taken inside an office on a regular basis, whether it is the KYC, the new client account, the KYC review, creating a financial plan, updating the financial plan, mortgage renewals. All of these are standard processes that take place inside all of your offices. They should be in the CRM such that they can be assigned to one person, or one person is responsible for creating the action plan and invoking it, and then the different people responsible for the different tasks are automatically assigned those tasks. So first thing you need to do is develop that repeatable workflow, and the Wealth Management Edition has done that for you. You want to share responsibility for the process. Obviously, it's not the same person in the office that does every step of every activity. So being able to delegate and assign those activities on a per-client basis is vital as well to managing an efficient office. Having your process be such that it's automated allows you to identify and treat your special or difficult clients in the ways that you know you need to treat them. Having workflows that say this is a type A or type A segmentation client review process will automatically give you the ability to create a different process than this is my type C client KYC review process. And the refinement of all of these processes is going to lead to efficiencies. But by following the same process over and over and over, you're going to start to see what is inefficient, and it's going to allow you to become even more efficient. So again, the goal in step 3 is save the time and increase the number of outputs that are going into the system and coming out of them. Making the smartphone even smarter. I think this is an obvious one for all of us that spend time outside of the office. You know, we really need to be able to manage our clients regardless of where we are and potentially what time of day it is. So by having access to all of your client information on your smartphone allows you to manage their expectations better, because when they're reaching out to you, you could reach back to them very efficiently. It allows you to increase your productivity and time management. Regardless of where you are and when you want to be doing it, having access to your CRM gives you access to your calendar. It also gives you access to all your tasks, and it gives you the ability to complete those tasks. It also gives you the ability to capture the information out in the field and store that right back into the corporate CRM immediately, allowing the connection between the office and yourselves and the work that you're doing that may have downstream implications in the office that need to be taken care of. And of course, mobility must be secure. Wealth management solutions like Maximizer CRM are not storing any information on the devices. We're looking up the information, and then when you log out of the device or close your browser, all that information is removed from the device. But in general, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to optimize all of our out-of-office efforts. If you can, like myself, if I can stay out in the field longer, that means I can make more calls. And if I can be entering the information, then it alleviates the necessity for me to have to come into the office. That's just a bonus. That's letting me make more calls in a day. The last point, and this is ultra important, of course, is you need to measure what's going on inside. Every CRMs allow you to keep track of personal performance goals. They allow you to create revenue goals and keep track of them for yourself, for your firm. It allows you to keep track of what's going on around new client acquisition, as well as the volume of potential clients that are in your pipeline. And so at any given time, you're being able to measure what's going on inside your business, as well as monitor. CRMs that have dashboards on their top customers, group performance of revenue targets, performance this year versus last year, all are indicative of the health of a business. Having these types of dashboards built directly into a CRM is only speeding up your time to getting the information and doing exactly what the goal that's set out for this particular slide is increasing your business performance forecasting. The more you know about what's going on in your business and the ability to forecast what's going to go on in your business, the better you're able to plan. So if you're following these steps, what results would you expect to see? Of course, you are expecting to see an efficiency in process, right? Creating repeatable processes can do nothing but lead to efficiencies. The value you're going to increase by having complete information. Like just having every single conversation recorded in your system, I can't think would do nothing but double the value of your business likely. Just having that kind of intimacy and of correspondence with all of your clients. Automation to save time. Having the workflow events and having the workflow automation and action plans working for you is what's going to automate the system for you, and it's going to save you a lot of time. Lowering the cost per staff member. Imagine the difference between if you had to explain and ask a staff member to read a manual to describe all the processes in a business and learn what processes they're responsible for versus opening up a software program and saying, these are the different action plans, these are all the activities our office does, and when we invoke one of these action plans, you're going to get a notification saying you're going to do these 3 steps. And these steps look like this, and you'll have this long to do them, and you'll get reminders telling you when you need to do them and when you haven't completed them. Obviously, that's a much nicer way to bring a staff member in and train them on the processes of a business. And the last point here is exactly the output of what I've just said. This is going to ensure a consistent client experience. And of course, happier clients mean more business. But what's really important about the consistent client experience is also the implication this has around being compliant. If you can imagine one operation that says, how do we do a trade recommendation? Well, we just, generally we phone the customer and then we wait for an email and then we phone them again and then we make their trade. Versus another operation that says we have an action plan. It consists of 4 steps and we do each of these 4 steps every single time. And you can see in our CRM that's our process. From a compliance perspective, we all understand which is more desirable. So what has Maximizer done about all this information and what have we learned? And I guess the question, why are we all here today, is really to talk about what Maximizer has learned around the subject that I'm talking about and what is it that wealth managers are expecting from a CRM and how do they want to interact with that CRM and how should that CRM be set up for them from day one. And what you're looking at now is sort of a list of the areas within Maximizer that we have modified ourselves by speaking with wealth managers and experts in the industry so that we've come up with the correct terminology, the correct understanding of the processes that are involved by wealth management businesses. So we've changed industry terms and labels. Maximizer, for all of you that are using it today, understand the concept of a company and an individual. In the Wealth Management Edition, companies are not called companies, they're called households. And individuals are not called individuals, they're called clients. You'll see a number of areas where we've chosen terminology that's very specific to your industry so that you understand that we do understand your industry and it'll make you more comfortable not having to think, well, what does that word mean in my world? We've created well over 100 custom fields, and these are fields intended to track information that's relevant to wealth management. We've built out the key fields, so these are the views into the custom fields. We've built out the action plans, which are the areas of repeatable workflow that I'm going to go into a little more detail. So from custom fields come your views, as I said, the key fields. They also come your save searches. So what I should be able to, we've built searches in that'll do segmentation for you, that'll search on assets, that'll search on other field values such as available cash. All intending to speed up the time it takes for you to become comfortable using our solution and not having to spend time customizing the system, spend time using the system. We've also made changes around the column setup, so again, giving you the view into your information. We've started to build out document templates and we've built out the dashboards. All of those changes I'm now going to show you through screenshots and what they look like in the new Wealth Management Edition. So you heard me first talk about households and replacing the name companies and contacts, and you can see across the top menu bar here, I'm highlighting households and other professionals. You can see when I click on the search menu, now we have search on households, search on clients, retrieve clients, right? So instead of retrieve companies and contacts, we're much more in tune with the language that wants to be used by wealth advisors. You can see under the edit menu, we have add client for, add household for, add professional for. We've renamed the concept of the address book to a contact list. So many people have said to me over the years, what's an address book? Why are you calling it that? That doesn't make sense in my business. We call them contacts. So that's what you're seeing here as well. Over on the left-hand side, we've also renamed the company library. Many customers have said it's not a company library, it's where we store our office documents. Can we call it office documents? So this is another example of label changes that we've made. And these changes are not just in the main menus, but they're everywhere. Everywhere you would see the word household, you would see contact, you're now going to see client. Everywhere you'd see company, you're now going to see household. This is through all the menus and everywhere that we have the capability of customizing the software, which is about 100% of the areas now. Following along on our theme of customization, we've built out custom fields. And you heard me say that we've built out well over 100 of them. I'm showing you the user-defined field tab right now, which is showing you the structure, if you will, or the folder structure of some of the fields and folders that we've built in. So we've built a folder around client information, around managed assets. We've got every single field off the standard KYC form stored in here and structured in such a way that it can be found quickly. You also see that under client information, we've added client financial objectives, additional information, financial review schedule. So these were all fields in speaking with wealth managers that said, we track this information, we capture this information. It's not on the KYC, but it's vital to our managing the relationship with the client. You heard me mention out of the custom fields comes the views into the information. So we've started to build out key fields, and we've included about 12 different lists of key fields in this version 1.0. So you're seeing we have a list of key fields for the financial review, for insurance policies, all the different KYC information, managed assets, mortgages. All of this, again, is intended to capitalize on the data that we're putting in the system and giving you the instant view into the most relevant information you want when your client phones you up. This is a little bit more of a drill down view into the basic fields that we've included. So our default key fields out of the box. These are the ones, again, that advisors told us were the most standard bits of information that they would want to have access to when a client phones up and they open up the record and look up the client record. So you can see, net worth is there for you, who the advisor is, who the secondary advisor, some of the basic tombstone, date of birth, marital status. Again, we're trying to organize the information in such a way that is relevant to what you may be having a discussion about. So we have a key field list for the assets, for the compliance fields that are filled in on the KYC. This is a checklist for the other processes, and speaking with wealth managers, they listed off a number of the forms that are required by every single client or optionally required by client. And what they had said to us was it would be really useful to have a view into all of the forms that have been completed or not completed, as the case may be. So we built out those custom fields, and here's a view into those fields. Financial planning dates. So now drilling into one aspect of wealth management is around the financial planning and the repeatable process around financial planning. So knowing when those dates are up and coming is extremely important, of course, to all of you in the industry that are doing planning with your clients. And KYC, annual income. So the basic starting point of the information that you're collecting on your client. So what is his income, and of course, the segmentation that can come out of searches that go into income levels are obviously vital for what you're doing on a daily basis. In addition to the key field views, we've also started to build out the custom views. So the custom views are the column setups, and this is the way we believe wealth managers want to organize the information when they're returning it onto their screens. So we have our default views, but we also have views around some of the reviewable processes, as you see. So the appointment view, we have asset allocation view. The checklist view, again, is around checklists of documents. A mortgage view. There's an insurance view that's coming shortly, and several others that we're being asked for as we're engaging more and more clients in these conversations now. When I mentioned earlier that I believe that the action plans are really the bread and butter, I very much mean that, and this is what the advisors have said to us, is that, John, I've got 15 processes, that's all. We do the same 15 things all the time to varying at varying time intervals, but it's really important to me that I have a system that anybody in my organization can always follow, and I know that regardless of what the activity is, all the proper actions are taking place every single time. So we sat down with advisors and we went through these different processes and we asked them to tell us step by step by step by step what actually is happening at each one of these steps, who does it, how much time you need between each step to transpire. And we took all that information and we built that into the action plans that are in the Wealth Management Edition. And you heard my example earlier about being compliant. So you can imagine if an office is following these 4 steps every single time when they make a trade recommendation, against every client record, you're going to have 4 steps indicating, or 4 notes or 4 entries indicating that each of these 4 steps have taken place. At a time, if a customer ever complains about a trade transaction and says, something didn't happen, you will always be able to say, no, look, I'm in my CRM. I can see that we did step 1 on this day and step 2 on this day and step 3 and step 4, and we do it every time and we do it for every client. So it becomes believable. This is an example of an action plan that's a little more complex, that's around a client meeting. But again, we've gone through, we've looked at each and every step that needs to take place, and we've written them down and documented them, and now we built them into the CRM. So what does that look like in the CRM? If you imagine, if you will, I've clicked on Roland McPhee and I've right-clicked and the menu came up that you're looking at here, and then I've clicked on the word schedule, and the menu that you look at on the right comes up, schedule action plan, and it takes me into the dialog you're looking at now, and this is a drop-down list of the action plans that we've put in. So I'm selecting an automatic withdrawal setup. And as soon as I've selected that, you can see down below that there's 4 steps here that are all assigned to myself as the logged in user. You can see each one has a start date, and each one of these is going to get entered into my calendar and assigned to me, and I'm going to get the reminders telling me I need to do all of these things. With action plans, with Maximizer, you can set these activities as dependent. So if, for instance, I was trying to complete step 3 and I hadn't completed step 2, the system's going to say, hey, you haven't completed step 2. So the system is there to remind me that I'm supposed to be doing the different actions in the correct order, and it's going to help me do that. Once I've clicked OK to an action plan, you can see that it's going to put all of those steps directly into the Activities tab against the record. I know I started with Roland McPhee. I got my screenshots mixed up, and I apologize. But we invoked this action plan against Emily Chan, and you can see now there's 4 action items. They're all assigned to me. They all have a date and time against them. And as I work through them, I'm going to complete them. This is just a screenshot of the action plan library. This is where you're able to modify any of the action plans that we've put in the software directly. This is where you would also add your own action plans or duplicate ones we've created and modify them slightly. So this is sort of the under the covers, if you will, and where you're going to work with action plans. But what's important to show you here is that I don't expect that every action plan is going to be done by the same person in an office. So for each of your offices, once you've identified which person in the office is going to do which step, you come into the action plan library here and you modify that individual step in the plan template. So every single time this template is called in the future, the correct person will be assigned the correct task. We started to build out quick searches. So again, taking advantage of the custom information we're putting in the system. If we know what you're putting into the system, we know what we can search on. So we've built out searches that we believe and we have heard would be relevant to users of the system. So coming up, investment plan reviews. So a lot of the review dates would be great searches to have in the system. So which of my clients do I have a KYC review with next month, and having that as a basic search. Which of my clients do I have a mortgage renewal next month? Which of my clients do I have tax planning coming? By building these all into the system and making these available to you, again, you don't have to think about having to build the right searches. The system's just giving you the information that we know you're going to want to have. We've also added these searches out into the quick access toolbar, which is happening on the left-hand side here. So these searches are available from whichever module you're in from within Maximizer. Again, benefit of that, not having to go into the contact list to do a search inside the contact list. You could be in the calendar and doing a search inside the contact list, and being able to do that from the calendar is reducing the number of clicks for you, obviously. We've built out an online web form, and we're including it with this version. This online web form is intended to emulate or reproduce what all of the information that's being stored on a KYC document. And there are this is a client account application. Many uses for the web form capability of Maximizer in wealth management. So it could be a new client account application. It could be a KYC. It could be a financial planning document. Maximizer lets you make any of these types of forms and publish these both inside or outside optionally in your organization. A real big advantage of your forms is data capture, of course, and the integrity of the data capture. Another big advantage of having forms that capture this information, or methods to capture this information, is having the ability to output this information on your standard company documents. So by having all the KYC information in the system, we've built a template in Word that's the KYC information review document. And you can simply open Word, call up this document, have a client selected, and it's going to merge all the client's KYC information into this document. At that which point in time, you can print out this document and hand it to a client or mail it to a client, or however it is you conduct your review, and work with the client with that document, and then enter that information and update it at a later date. This review form could be any form that's inside a wealth management practice. It could be any of the documents that you're outputting on a regular basis. You can merge the Maximizer information to those documents and output those documents and do with them whatever you need. Excuse me. Dashboards. I can never understate what I believe to be the importance of dashboards in managing and monitoring what's going on in a business. We've built a number of dashboards, and we're continuing to build more dashboards based on feedback we're getting from your industry. So total clients would be an obvious one. My client demographics based on segmentation, looking at that different segmentation, my clients by the different accounts that they have with me. So these obviously all make sense to users of a wealth management system. I believe we've got another set. Yeah, so top clients by households or investments with us, top households by cash. Again, these are ones we've built. Two purposes. One is to show you what's possible, and two is to get you started. And as soon as you start entering this information into the systems, these dashboards just start reporting that information back to you. This last slide is giving you a vision or a view into the different ways that the Maximizer Wealth Management Edition can be deployed. So you're seeing two different deployment options here, both through a browser or a smartphone or a tablet. One on the left-hand side is depicting running the Maximizer Wealth Management Edition inside on-premise in your own office. And the one on the right-hand side is depicting purchasing the Maximizer Wealth Management Edition where it's hosted in a private data center here in Canada that's managed by Maximizer software. So we're offering both these deployment options. We know that there's a good segment of our customer that likes to have their software and their customer information inside their office. We also know that there's probably an equal number of customers out there that are very happy to have organizations like Maximizer run the data center and run the hardware and software that goes with it to provide them with their CRM. And that's what these two illustrations are depicting here.